Hi everyone, Harry here to talk about this whole mess, and it is a mess, involving the Alien Enemies Act. Okay, things are swirling around and the administration is offering different justifications for what seems like a possible knowing violation of a district court order. And we have both legal arguments and sort of procedural ones. I will not torture you, though I could. I've spent much of the morning torturing myself, getting all the facts in line because it's going to be developing quickly. But I want to basically lay out to you what's going on with the law and the legal claim, and then the potential constitutional crisis of just the United States ignoring a federal court order. Okay, the legal claim. There is a 1798 statute called the Alien Enemies Act. It's designed specifically for when we are at war, and even the sort of 18th century world, although we've used it since, world in which we're at war with another country and we want to expel citizens of that country whom we're concerned could be abetting their country's war effort in our shores. So the statute says when there's another nation, that when we are in a declared war with another nation, which we clearly are not, or when another nation is making a predatory incursion into our territory, we can use this act to basically deport nationals of that nation. We've only done this 3 times, or we've only invoked it 3 times. War of 1812, World War I, World War II. And all in situations that are down the middle, what we're talking about. World War II, by the way, some people are seeing this as why we did the notorious Korematsu detentions of Japanese Americans. That's not right. This statute, though, gave authority to deport Japanese citizens or likewise German citizens. That's what it's for. Okay. Why is Trump using it in a quiet order? Issued Friday night without any kind of publicity. Trump invokes it as against not a country, but a transnational criminal organization, Tren de Aragua, if I pronounce that right. Tren de Aragua. But a transnational criminal organization, TDA or Tren de Aragua, that is apparently wreaking havoc in South America, and at least he wants to argue operating somewhat within our shores. And he wanted to use the Alien Enemies Act to deport a couple hundred members of that group, allegedly of that group, because their lawyers say, you're making a mistake, we're not even of that group. And he did it. So the United States sent a couple planes down of people they say are of that group, but there was no due process of it at all. And you had these videos of supposed, drug dealers, with shaved heads, crawling along in this very notoriously severe prison in El Salvador, and the U.S. And the Salvadoran president triumphant about it. We got them here before the order with a little, too bad for the judge who tried to stop us, and no less a person than Rubio, the Secretary of State, retweets that. So there's a kind of sense of jubilation. Okay. That is so the legal issue here. Can you use the Alien Enemy Act to basically try to take out members of a transnational drug organization? The answer's got to be no. They are not a foreign country. They're not this is really seems pretty straightforward. They're not you could. There's no argument. Well, the United States has been saying all kinds of different things, and one of them is that they were acting at the direction of the Venezuelan government. None of it really holds up. What Trump wanted to do is just, without any process at all, deport these people to a terrible high security prison and be triumphant and strong about it. J.D. Vance this morning basically responds to the argument that they've broken the law as saying, we wanted to get these nasty drug dealers out. The Democrats wanted to keep them, and we got them out. So they are, really playing it in a cowboy-like way and touting the absence of, legal authority for doing it. We managed to do it, and hooray for us. All right. That's the legal claim here that has not been, so that after Trump does this Friday evening, Saturday, the ACLU gets word that all these folks whom they now represent are being deported, or they're shuffling them off to get them into a plane to go to El Salvador. They run into court, the court of Chief Judge Jeb Boasberg of the district court, to say, stop this, freeze the action here so you can determine if this is legal, because we don't think it is. And Boasberg said, sure doesn't seem as if it is, for the reasons I've said. And by the way, it sure doesn't seem as if it is. And there's an emergency hearing Saturday, 5 p.m. And Boasberg, from the bench, he first asked the U.S. Representative, the U.S. lawyer, what the hell is going on? No surprise, the U.S. lawyer says, well, I don't know. And he takes a little pause in the hearing, and he issues a verbal order. Do not deport them. If there are planes in the air, bring them back, and do it now. And I'm entering a TRO, meaning I have 14 days now to decide on the legality of this action. Okay, that's the whole big chunk of the legal issue and where it stands under the Alien Enemies Act. Now we go to the whole constitutional crisis of whether and how the U.S. might be violating the order from Boasberg. So this is also a mess, and they've talked out of four sides of their mouths, and I don't think it's necessary for us, for you. I've spent a lot of the morning doing it, but tracing every statement back, let me just say they've been very inconsistent. So the first thing that the White House press secretary, and one of the problems here is she's 27 and doesn't know the first thing about the law, but it appears as if they consulted in this little break in the hearing with White House lawyers, and the lawyers said, go, do it anyway. And that was because the planes had already gone off and were over international waters. That's the first statement that they indicated. If so, it's bogus, because they don't, the fact that they were over international waters doesn't give them the right to violate a federal court order. The court order goes to the executive branch officials, and wherever they are, the order enjoins them, and he certainly did make the clear statement in court verbally to bring them back. So that was the first indication, the first statement. Is that what we'll rest on? I don't know, because they've done different stuff since. What was the next thing they said? She clarified in the manner of government of actually contradicting, and said, well, no, we didn't violate any order here. But then what they seem to suggest is his verbal order saying bring the planes home was a little different from the official written order. That's another sort of statement that is out there. Then another statement that they are seeming to rely on is, we're not going to, we didn't deport them based on the proclamation and the Alien Enemies Act. Instead, we're just relying on some inherent Second Amendment authority, so the order didn't bind us. All three of those, notice, are squirrely at best. This is the United States not being candid with the court, not being forthright with the court, and just doing what it can to get away with shit. And law, and going back to my first point, get away with a unlawful application of the Alien Enemies Act. Okay. And then of greatest concern, there's a flavor in some of the statements, including by J.D. Vance this morning, that is basically, yeah, we did it. And what are you going to do about it? J.D. Vance comes out and says, we wanted to get rid of these nasty drug dealers in our country. The Democrats wanted to keep them here. That's the rhetorical field on which they're trying to play it. So beat their breasts and say, you're damn right. We got rid of these dangerous people within the United States, and you can't stop us. And that the flavor is, we did it, and we're proud that we did it. Okay. All of these are in the public eye. They are conflicting and really sort of swirling around. Boasberg has called a hearing for just a few hours from now, 5 p.m. East Coast time, and he's going to want clearly to get to the bottom of it. He's a very good judge. Calm, but I'm sure he's very concerned that they just violated his orders. It's going to be, for starters, a battle to get the information. The lawyers will say, well, I'm not sure. And Bozer will say, well, who is sure? And put that person in front of me. And there's going to be a real struggle. But what what's basically on the table here is, did the administration ignore a court order with a parchment thin tissue of a legal justification, so it's not the same as just giving the court the middle finger? Or are they really now initiating constitutional crisis time and saying, yeah, we're doing it, and a single federal court, district court judge, as the press spokesman put it, can't stop us? That, of course, would be flat out insubordination. The argument, the easy retort there is, if you don't think what the federal district court judge was lawful, appeal it, which, by the way, they've actually done. They've also served this up to the D.C. Circuit. They'll be putting in briefs tomorrow to try to get the D.C. Circuit to yank it away from Boasberg altogether. So that's another variable in this complete, floating mess. But to cut to the chase, a indefensible, it seems to me, assertion of Alien Enemies Act jurisdiction to get at bad drug dealers, and the possibility of, at best, a squirrely set of maneuvers to avoid a federal court order, or at worst, a flat-out insubordination. You've got your order, now you enforce it, which would put us right there at the precipice, sort of over the precipice in midair, Roadrunner style, of a really pitched constitutional crisis. So this is developing quickly. All kinds of crazy details that I'm trying to suggest you don't have to memorize, but just know that the underlying assertion of legal authority is really dubious. Forget dubious, is really wrong. And there's the real prospect that the United States is going to basically say we don't have to listen to district court judges here, or make some other claim of authority to disregard that would put us on the really bad road of courts can't stop them, Congress can't stop them, nobody can stop them. Where the hell are we? Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.